Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Top 5. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the most disappointing books I've ever read. Number 5 goes to The Omen Machine by Terry Goodkind. I am a huge fan of the Wizard's First Rule series, and I was really excited to find out that Terry Goodkind was making some additional books to the series. I was excited to get back into that world and those characters, Richard and Kaelin and Kara. I got hugely invested and deeply emotional with the series, so I fully expected to have those same feelings while reading The Omen Machine. No, I did not. The Omen Machine was just disappointing on so many levels. I didn't feel like the characters had that same charm that they originally had, and I really felt like the book dragged in a lot of places. And I felt like there wasn't even much of a plot until maybe the last 100 pages of the book. I kind of don't know what to say about whether or not you should buy this book or not. If you're a huge fan of the Wizard's First Rule series like I am, then I guess you should get it, but at the same time, I don't want to tell you to get it because I was so disappointed in it personally. If you love that series, then maybe you should still get it and form your own opinion about it. Maybe buy it at a used bookstore where you can get it cheaper. Number 4, The Wise Woman by Philippa Gregory. I have never read a bad Philippa Gregory book. I absolutely love all of her books. So I picked up The Wise Woman thinking I would love it just as much. And I don't even know why I bothered to read this book, to be honest. It was crazy. This book was wild. That's the one word I think I can only say about this book, wild. Overall, the plot of the book was excellent, and the writing still had that Philippa Gregory flair to it that I love so much. Philippa Gregory is typically known for writing unlikable characters, and that's never bothered me before in the past. But the characters in this book are so unlikable that I had trouble even getting through the book or even sympathizing with these characters. And guys, I love a good, well-written sex scene, but in The Wise Woman, the sex scenes got to the point that I was actually nauseated. You should have seen the look on my face while I was reading those scenes. It was not pleasant, let me tell you that. I didn't think Philippa Gregory could ever disappoint me, but with The Wise Woman, she certainly did. Number 3 goes to books 2 and 3 of the Millennium Trilogy, The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest by Stieg Larsson. I freaking loved The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The characters were all interesting, the mystery was awesome, everything about the book was just perfect. So I expected to go into books 2 and 3 with this same idea and same fascination, and this same enthusiasm. But I was sadly disappointed with these books as well. Books 2 and 3 still had some sort of mystery element, and the same characters were still involved. But everything was heavily focused on, I guess what you can call the politics of journalism, and that bored me to tears. What I loved so much about The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was the prime mystery that was in the entire plot. I expected books 2 and 3 to have some sort of similar murder mystery as well, but it was all more about journalism, like I said. The only thing about books 2 and 3 that got better from the first book was the characterization and the further development of Lisbeth. If it hadn't been for Lisbeth, I probably would have put books 2 and 3 down. I highly suggest maybe just reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and totally skipping books 2 and 3. Number 2, The End by Lemony Snicket. The End is book 13 in the A Series of Unfortunate Events series. I absolutely adore A Series of Unfortunate Events. I love the quirky humor, the wit, and I love Lemony Snicket as a narrator. And Violet, Klaus, and Sunny are just so adorable, and I can't help but root for them the entire series. Lemony Snicket set up this whole mystery surrounding the death of the Baudelaire family. He sets up all these really great and intriguing questions, and by the end of book 13, you're fully expecting to get all your questions answered. But instead, I think all you're left with is even more questions. I was so disappointed with the end that it's not even funny. I flipped to the final page, read the final words, and I was like, that's it? Despite my disappointment with the final book in the series, I still really love the series overall. and I don't try to judge it based solely on the fact of my disappointment with the final book. And lastly, number 1 goes to Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I first had to read Moby Dick for an American literature class, and I was super excited to read it. Apparently, this book is considered one of the greatest American classics, so I was absolutely enthused to begin reading this book. The book starts off really great. You get the classic line of "Call me Ishmael," and it continues after that. And you get the build-up of how he gets on the ship and meets Captain Ahab and all of that good stuff. But it's somewhere in the middle of the book where I about absolutely snapped. The entire middle of the book turns into like this whaling dictionary. How to kill whales, how to use all the parts of a whale for other purposes. I did not care. I kept wishing and wishing and wishing for the story to continue. But no, it just kept going on and on and on about what you do with whale parts. So by the time it gets to the end of the book and it gets back to the central characters and the central plot, I'm already half out of it. The entire middle chunk of the book totally threw me out of the story, and there was no way of coming out of that. And I'm having trouble understanding why Moby Dick is considered such an American classic when I considered it very, very boring. So that's it for this episode's top 5. In the comments below, I want you all to tell me what the most disappointing book is that you've ever read. Last month's top 5, I asked you all to tell me what your favorite fictional places are, and you guys didn't give me much variety. The biggest places that you all mentioned was that you all would want to live in Hogwarts or Middle-earth, more specifically Rivendell. One person even mentioned that they'd want to live in Gondor with Aragorn. Me too. And then someone even said that they'd want to fight at Helm's Deep to battle against the orcs. Don't you all want to live somewhere else besides Middle-earth? No shame in that, because I'd want to live in Middle-earth too. So that's it for your answers. Like I said, remember to comment down below about what the most disappointing book is that you've ever read, and I'll see you all next month. Bye!